Are you ready for career success? Your Career Podcast will help you to take control of your career. Now, would you like to take my 2-minute career success quiz to see if you're really ready for career success? You'll get your results, analysis, and recommendations for improvement immediately. Go to janejacksoncoach.com and take the quiz today. The link is in my show notes. Now, on with the show. Welcome to episode 254 of Your Career Podcast. In a recent LinkedIn live stream on LinkedIn, of course, I teamed up with LinkedIn live stream expert Gillian Whitney to discuss how you can future-proof your career in 2024. In this episode, you can listen to the recording of our live discussion and also benefit from the comments and questions we received from the audience during our session 2. We answer 6 key questions. How to get clear on what you want to achieve in 2024. How to become a content creator on LinkedIn to attract the opportunities you desire. And how to create an effective content strategy for success in 2024. And then we get into the more technical aspect, why you must add video and live streaming to your personal branding strategy as a job seeker, how you can choose your live stream equipment to make it all easy, and how to repurpose your live streams to reach a wider target audience. And here we are. Hello, Gillian Whitney.
Hi, I'm excited to be here.
I know. I have been looking forward to interviewing you for so long because I've been following you on LinkedIn for years, and all the video that you put out on LinkedIn and on YouTube and everywhere else is always so compelling. So I thought better get the LinkedIn video guru on to have a chat. And this is actually for my Your Career Podcast. So it'll be going out as a podcast episode as well on all your favorite podcasting platforms. But right now we're broadcasting live on LinkedIn via my Facebook business page at Jane Career Coach, and also on YouTube. So if you want to find me on YouTube, Jane Jackson Career Coach, it will be broadcast live. And later it'll be on Gillian's YouTube channel as well. So I'm so happy that you're here. And it's just before Christmas. You'll notice I've got my Christmas ribbon here and I've got my Christmas colors on. So I thought it's really good just to recap everything this year before the year ends so that everyone can future-proof their career for 2024. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So what I'll do is I'll just do a quick intro with regard to what we're going to cover, and then let's find out all about your background as well, Gillian. Okay. So this is all about how to future-proof your career for 2024 by creating a really effective content strategy so that you, as a job seeker or as a business professional, can brand yourself as an expert in your field. Too few people leverage LinkedIn video. And before you start to leverage LinkedIn video, you really need to get clear on what it is that you want to leverage in the first place. Yeah. And so I'm Jane Jackson. I'm a career management coach and I specialize in career transition coaching. I'm the author of Navigating Career Crossroads and a career transition specialist. I focus on helping you to make a career change. Now, Gillian Whitney, who is in Las Vegas, is all about effective video for branding. So having Gillian here is such a treat for me. Let me give you a brief introduction about Gillian. She's a LinkedIn live stream strategist and coach, and with over 10 years experience in helping professionals to use video to build their businesses. You host, Gillian, a weekly LinkedIn live show and podcast, and it's called, what is it called, Gillian? Tell me.
Well, the live is called LinkedIn Live with Gillian, but the podcast, which it gets repurposed at, is LinkedIn Easy Peasy. And everything about me is easy peasy.
Yeah, video easy peasy. In fact, if you Google video easy peasy, you'll be able to find Gillian. But she's the author of this new book, which is why I thought I must get Gillian on. She's the author of Stand Out in Your Job Search with Video. And so as I help career changers and job seekers, who better to add additional value than Gillian? Okay. Did you know that Gillian is also a digital nomad and she has citizenship in 4 countries: Canada, the UK, the United States, and Israel. And currently, Gillian lives in Las Vegas with her husband and business partner, Devon. And I'm extremely jealous because Vegas is one of my favorite places, and I haven't been back for about 5 years.
Okay. It's a fun place. It's a fun place. I love it. I love it.
Oh, it really is. And when I was there about 5 years ago, I just spent so much time walking. It's a great place to walk, isn't it? You have to walk absolutely everywhere. So you get plenty of exercise. Now, let's kick this session off with Gillian's story. And I'd love to hear the backstory here, Gillian, before we get into all of the things that we want to achieve today. We're going to be telling people how to get clear in 2024 for their career success, how to become a content creator, how to create a very effective content strategy, and why you must add video to your content strategy. This is Gillian's domain now, how to choose great live stream equipment and how to repurpose your video content so it reaches your target audience. Okay, so Gillian, tell us, how did you get into becoming a live stream guru?
Well, jumped onto LinkedIn. I was one of those people that made the switch from Facebook, headed over to LinkedIn, only for the organic growth, because the reach on LinkedIn was just better. And when I got on LinkedIn, I did online marketing, and I was everything. I was email marketing and blogging and websites. I did all of it. And I came across a gentleman, John Asperian, who we both know, and I read a book called Content DNA. And it resonated for me that he said, be known for one thing. And I thought, out of all the online marketing, what resonated for me the most? And it was video. Although I didn't really feel confident doing video, I'm an introvert, but I loved the creative juices that go with doing video. I started small, did little videos behind the scenes, and then I got braver and braver and finally put myself out there. But as I was evolving in video, so was LinkedIn. And I found that the goalposts kept moving, and it get more and more complicated. And as it got more complicated, and I was doing live streaming at the same time, I started to figure out that live streaming is a lot easier than recorded video. So that's why I made the switch. I'm all in on LinkedIn live video. But here's the golden nugget. You take live streams and they can be repurposed, which we'll talk about later, in so many different ways that you get that double bang for your buck. You make your live video and then you've got recorded video. So that to me was the music and the magic of how to do video better.
Now, you know what's interesting is so many people are afraid of video as well, because they think, oh, I don't want to be on camera. And what if I, mess it up? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I go or are? But to be quite honest, when it's live streaming, that's the beauty. If you have a little bit of a hiccup, that's the fun part, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Trying to overcome the hiccup. And as this is going out as a LinkedIn live stream video, and also later it'll be going out as a podcast with just audio. If anyone who's watching Your Career or listening to Your Career podcast and you want to actually see us speaking, then hop over to YouTube, where you'll be able to see the video as well. And I think that'll be very handy. Now, Gillian, can you just tell me, before we go into some questions that we really want to answer, because they're pressing questions for everybody and all job seekers as well, when you started live streaming, how did you feel?
Oh, terrified. I felt absolutely terrified. And it was at a time, I've been live streaming for over 3 years now. And when I first started doing live streaming, it was like you had to apply. You had to apply and be approved by LinkedIn. I always laugh and say it was like Willy Wonka getting that golden ticket. You got to go and do it. And I remember the first time I hit that go live button, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have any audience. I just decided I'd consistently show up week after week. And you know what? If you build it, they will come. If you're consistent and you provide value, you get one person, they give you a like, they give you a comment, and the next week you get another one and another one. And that's how you grow it. So you're not an overnight sensation. You do have to do it one little bit at a time. But I think what is so appealing about the lives, Jane, is that people like the community feel and the authenticity that goes with a live, because you get on here and you have the real you comes out. And I'll give you a compliment, Jane. When I came here today, you and I are meeting for the very first time. And yet, because we've done video, I've seen your lives, you've seen my lives, we've seen each other's videos, we've talked in the DMs. I came here today and you were exactly how I imagined you'd be. You were no different. Your authenticity comes out through video. So to me, that's the power. And when you live stream, you can't outsource your lives. You know, I'm here. I can't have some virtual assistant come and show up for me and be the perfect Gillian. Doesn't work like that. I have to come and be able to just handle anything that can happen. And to me, that's the beauty of lives. You really see, are people real or are they fake? They're real.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you take me back now. I remember when LinkedIn Live was a thing, when it first came into being. And when I was invited to do LinkedIn Lives, I was so surprised because I thought, oh, why on earth am I invited to do this? And then I had so many messages from people. What did you do? How did you get on it? I want to get LinkedIn Live. And it was funny that LinkedIn sometimes gives a few people access, and then it takes a long time for everyone to get access, and then they get frustrated. But then now everybody who chooses to become a content creator can do it. Yes.
Absolutely. And you think of it, it's almost like having your own TV show. That's what I liken it to. And, you know, if you kind of went back in the past and you think, you know, I'm of the over 50 crowd. And if you kind of look back in the past and think about people having, you know, Oprah and all these people with talk shows, they need big studios and crews. And yet here we are. We can just say, you know what? I got 150 connections. I'm going to go live. Facebook, my goodness, I don't think you need anything. Like LinkedIn has some parameters, but if you get on some of these other platforms, YouTube, you can literally just open up a YouTube channel and just start broadcasting. So it's amazing. And you just go, this is a wonderful time to be alive, where we have this ability to communicate with anybody all over the world. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's so nice to know that Kevin Turner is here. And thank you so much, Kevin. Yeah, I'm a real Jane Jackson, and that's a real Gillian Whitney. And you know what? When it comes to real people, because on LinkedIn, there are some fake profiles and they look so realistic. But if you actually see someone talking and providing advice and guidance, you know they're real people. So go ahead and then connect with them. One thing that's interesting is that I do a lot of webinars on resume writing and, you know, starting your own business. And during those webinars, I always say to people, because we're all on this webinar now and we can see each other and we can talk to each other, don't hesitate to connect with each other on LinkedIn, because already you know that they're real.
Exactly.
Yeah, so funny. Okay, now, do you have some questions for me?
Yes, I do.
Before we get into deep diving into video.
Okay, so the first thing that I'd want to ask you is, as we're heading into 2024, how would you suggest people get clear on what they want to achieve in 2024?
Yeah. And thanks for asking that, because this is a really important question. Because if you want to get into LinkedIn video, you need to know what your true purpose is. What's the end game with this? Is it for branding? Is it because it's going to be fun? Is it to improve your presentation skills? Because that could be it too. So, but the first thing is first of all, what is it that really makes you tick in your career? What do you want? What is most important to you, and what has worked in the past and what hasn't? So what I always recommend, in order to get clear, there's a number of things that you need to go through. And one is to assess your current life situation, because our career is one part of our lives. It's not the be all and end all, but consider your career, your finances, your physical and mental health right now, your relationships, and also the environment in which you're in. How satisfying is each aspect of your life in those areas? Because there'll be some things that you're tolerating and you think, within my relationships, there's this that's dragging me down. You need to take care of the tolerations to free up your energy so that you can focus on your career. Okay, so a life inventory is an important thing to do. The next thing is think about what your personal values are and the career values. What is it that really drives you? Because sometimes when you feel a little bit of discontent and you're not quite sure exactly what it is, you can't pinpoint the nature of that discontent because everything's fine. It could be job's okay, family's okay, friends are okay, money's okay, but you're still not 100% happy. It's usually because one or more of your top values are not being met. What are they? Then what are the skills that you can bring to any role? And I always like you to identify your high competence skills as well as the high enjoyment, because if you're very good at something, you don't like doing it, then it's just you head for burnout, right? But if you have a high competence and high enjoyment level, then that's the sweet spot. And that's where your passion will lie. And you'll be able to sell yourself with greater energy when you are looking for a job. And then personal preferences. Who do you want to work with? What type of manager? What type of people? What industry? What job function? What style of work? How much flexibility, remote or in the office or whatever? Assess all of these things. And then after that, you'll be clear as to what's most important to you. And then you can plan your branding strategy, which will include video as well. And Gillian, I just want to mention that I actually have a special Christmas gift for people if they want it. It's my Career Reflections Journal. So if anyone's watching live or watching the replay and you'd like it, just mention in the comments that you'd like it and I'll reach out to you later to let you know. So what do you think, Gillian? How do you get clear on what you want to achieve?
Wow, that's an incredible question. I think that I kind of look back before I look forward. So I always like to, around this time of the year, I look back at 2023 and it's like, well, what were my goals in January? What did I meet? And what did I decide to do? Did I just not achieve some of those goals? Or did I have a change in my focus as I went through the year? And then that helps me kind of get clear about what do I want to do moving forward. So I think that's always, forward focus, but also a little bit of a look over your shoulder of where you've come from and how do we want to make those changes moving forward.
Yeah. And, this time of year, don't you think, Gillian, is a great time to reflect? Because, so much has happened. And to be honest, I don't know about you, but hasn't 2023 just flown by like crazy fast?
And I think 2023, in my opinion, was a pivotal year because I think we had this introduction of AI. If you think about it, it was this time last year that AI blew into our universe. And we were like, kind of like, oh, is this a fad? Like, is this going to go away? We now know this is not going away. And this has repercussions on so many different things. Look at how AI has affected LinkedIn. And you think of all the job search strategies, the career strategies, skills, all the different things we're doing on LinkedIn, collaborative articles, so many different things AI has touched on LinkedIn. So a year ago, we had no idea where we would be and how AI would affect everybody. So you just go, where are we going to be this time next year? So it does make you go, things are moving really, really fast. And it can either frighten you or it can excite you and say, how do I get in on this? How do I get those skills to move me to the next level?
Yeah. Initially, I have to admit, I was thinking, what is this AI? Now, I know that there's been AI around for a long time, but the past year, it's like, boom, I mean, stratospherically, it's just taken off and more people know about it and have become quite worried about it because, especially people, in the creative field, copywriters, designers, now AI can do so much and actually replace some of the grunt work that people used to do before. There are roles that are disappearing because of AI. And I think it's caused a lot of anxiety as well. And initially, for me, I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm a bit suspicious of this because I like everything to be genuine and authentic and it has to come from you. But over time, what I've realized is that AI can actually enhance what we do and make what we do more streamlined, more effective. And it's not something really to be feared. It's something to be used as a tool. What I worry about is that some people will use it as a crutch and it will be the be all and end all. And I don't think that's a good idea, because you still need to inject that human element to it. And also it goes back to what we were saying about, LinkedIn Lives and people seeing us. They know that we're real people and we're authentic, which is nice. I just want to do a little shout out to Karen Ao-Yong, who's so nice, and she's joined us today. And Cynthia, you say you'd like a copy of the journal, so that's lovely. If you've got any questions for Gillian during this live or for me, please feel free to pop them in the chat box. If we don't answer them right away, we'll definitely come back after the live stream and we'll answer all of them. Okay, and so any other questions you want to ask before we?
Yes, I do. So I just want to get your thoughts on how to become a content creator on LinkedIn so that people can attract those opportunities they're looking for in 2024.
Yeah. It's actually quite easy to start becoming a content creator, because all you need to do is to go to your LinkedIn profile, and up in that top card section, you will see where you'll be able to turn on creator mode. So all you do is click on and you will become a content creator. Now, even though you will have switched to content creator mode, you still need to start creating content. So when you've got clear as to who you are and what your aim is for your future or for 2024, if it's, I'm going to leverage content in order to build my brand, then switch your LinkedIn profile to on for creator mode. All right. Because when you've got creator mode on, it makes it so much easier for you to do LinkedIn Lives, LinkedIn audio, newsletters, all of this will be available to you. Okay. And you also get a follow link provided to you that you can copy and paste the script and you can pop it into your newsletters or wherever, so that people can just click and follow you directly, which will drive more traffic to you. But to access creator mode, you have to have at least 150 followers or connections. And I know most of you will have more than that. But if you don't, then start to think about your connection strategy as well. And you also need to have started to share some original content, such as short form posts. You just go to the homepage and you start a post. So start a post, add an image, maybe with your comments, share a video if you're brave enough, and you'll learn more about that with Gillian in a minute. Or if you're going to maybe create a poll, because they're quite popular, or write an article. As long as you've shared some content recently and you've got more than 150 followers, then you can turn on content creator mode. Once you do that, people can follow you. And if they want to connect with you, they'll have to click the more or see more little button on the phone. It's, you've got 3 dots, so click on that, and then they'll still be able to connect with you if they want. But many people can follow you. So it's like I have more than double the number of followers than I actually have connections, because my connection strategy is I've got a number of criteria before I'll actually connect with someone. One is I need to get a personalized note, but people can follow and still get the content there. So it's an easy way to become a content creator, but you need to think about your content strategy as well.
I love that. And, there's another example of, I remember waiting to get creator mode, just like people used to wait to apply for LinkedIn Live. We had to wait to get creator mode. And now anybody can get it. Like you said, you get those 150, which you want to do anyways, you don't really want to come on LinkedIn. And I don't like the term lurker. Some people refer to people who are not very active on LinkedIn as lurkers, but I kind of think of them as more like consumers. They're consuming content. they're coming on here. And maybe that's a good thing in the beginning to see whatever resonates for you. Maybe that's the kind of content. And, don't you love the fact, Jane, that LinkedIn offers us such a wide variety of content that, it's not just, I love video, but I don't just do video. I do all sorts of text posts, graphic posts, document posts. There's so much you can do. So that leads me to another question. And so if you wanted to be successful in 2024, what do you recommend people, if they want to have an effective content strategy, what should they be doing to put that into place now with their thoughts to get that jump start on 2024?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is, and also I focus on job seekers, but this will be the same really for business owners as well, is that with regard to your content strategy, first of all, if you want to be successful, people need to know who you are. Okay, so think about how can you create awareness that you are in the world and you have a certain level of expertise in whatever it is that you do. And so in order to start to generate awareness that you're here and you're good at something, then you need to start to comment on other people's posts who may need additional support or information as well. Okay, so if there's someone who does something similar to what you do, then why not share your comments and add to what they do as well? Because I'm a firm believer that there's always plenty of pie for everybody. Have an abundance mindset. So if someone's sharing about, say, career coaching and you have something to add as well, then why not add your thoughts that would help other people? Don't do it in a salesy manner and don't say, buy my stuff. Never do that. But if you just add, oh no, that's a really interesting viewpoint, we could look at it this way as well, then you can start to share. And if it's within your target audience, people will start to get to notice you. Then once you've created some awareness, start to do your own posts as well, where you are providing help to other people. The whole point, I think, of LinkedIn is to provide help and assistance and support, because people are always looking for inspiration or a little bit of guidance. And when you share your content, this is really important. Don't be disappointed if you don't get a lot of views or comments or likes, because that's just a metric. It's nice to get them, but it's not necessary, because most of my clients, when they reach out to me, say for a career clarity chat, I'll say, oh, how did you find me? They say, I've been following your content for years and I didn't even know, because there was no like or comment or anything, but it pops up in their feed and they consume it and then they remember. So your content strategy must be, how can I stay top of mind? And don't be boring with your content and just post text posts, for example. Mix it up with, as Gillian's mentioned before, video or polls. Plain text posts are fine as well, but maybe add an image that's eye-catching. And number one is be consistent. If you're going to post once a week, post once a week. If you want to post 3 times a week, post 3 times a week. Don't post once, leave it for a month, and then post again and think, oh, my content strategy doesn't work, because consistency is the key. So I hope that helps a little bit. But I want to go on to video now, because that's the scariest thing when it comes to posting. Wouldn't you agree? And please, anybody who would like, who has questions for us, please pop them in the chat and we'll have a look a little bit later. And do remember that if you want a copy of the Career Reflections Journal, I can email it to you if you let me know. Okay, now Gillian, questions for you. Very important, okay? Why must we add video and also live streaming to our branding strategy?
So I believe that the importance of video is it truly builds trust. Video is the quickest thing that allows people to get to know, like, and trust you. They recognize you, they see you. It allows you to stay congruent and consistent and show up, and people go, I feel like I know her or him, whoever is the one doing the video. And it allows our personality, our authenticity to come out. And I like to think that it's a sorter. It's a way to sort people, because we're not for everyone. So if we're looking for a job, if we're going for a job interview, we may not be the right fit for that company, which is not a reflection of who we are. It's just sometimes, I think of it as a puzzle. Some puzzle pieces just don't fit. And it's really to everyone's advantage. So when you do video, people get that sense of who you are and can quickly say, am I a good fit for you? Am I not a good fit for you? There's many different things. So I think it lets our personality come through, our authenticity come through, just does so much. And people remember people who do videos. You write a text post, Jane, I could read your text post. I could think it's a wonderful text post, but I'm not going to connect it with you. But a video I will, because I see you, I hear you, all senses.
We've got a good question here from Kevin Turner. How did both of your first videos on LinkedIn perform? How did it go, Gillian?
Terribly, terribly. My very, very first video, it didn't even get a like. And if I had packed up all my toys and gone home, that would have been the end of me. It didn't get a like because I didn't have my picture. It was strictly a screen share video where I was like blah, 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 talking in the background. I think it was 6 minutes long. And I had no idea that you don't do 6-minute videos for LinkedIn. I was doing a YouTube video and sticking it on LinkedIn. So that is the thing. The video is a process and you experiment. And what you need to do is always begin with the end in mind and the audience in mind. So if you're a job seeker, you're thinking about how can I make videos that will attract recruiters, headhunters, even other people in the companies that I wish to work with. That's who we're going for. If you're a business person, you're looking for your clients and thinking, what are the pain points of my clients? What do they need to know? So always begin with the end in mind. What is my video about? And who is my video for? Because you're not making a video for LinkedIn. Everybody, you're making it for specific people, and always keep them in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And also people don't have a lot of time. You know, what's interesting is that when you post a video, a pre-recorded video on LinkedIn, then it needs to be really, short, sharp, to the point. So there needs to be a hook. People need to be interested. But what's so interesting about live streaming is we can live stream for an hour and people will still, pop in and stay the whole time, or else they'll pop in and out and see what's going on. And so I think there's a lot of power in live streaming. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Because I think when you're live streaming, people feel that they've pulled up a chair and they're joining the conversation. And you can here, live, real time, people can add comments. And like Kevin did a second ago, he asked us a question. So it's much more participatory than just having a video that goes out there. A live stream, we can incorporate the comments. We can ask people, where are you joining us from? We see, and I have often found, Jane, that people are talking to each other in the audience, and it has nothing to do with us, and they're getting to know each other. So you think about it, it's a networking event as well. So I think of each live stream as a virtual event where people are coming, but it's global and it's 24/7. And you can even come back and be part of team replay, watch the replay next day, that on the weekend, and still join people and get to know other people and follow other people and connect with other people that attend the live. Because if you like the live, you probably like the other people that are liking the live too.
Oh, absolutely. And what's so good, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, is that when you set up an event, letting people know that you will be live streaming, LinkedIn really helps with the networking, because you can click on the network tab in your event, have a look at who's going to be attending, and you can reach out to them as well. And then because LinkedIn Live is recorded, you can go back to that event and you think, oh, okay, there were these people who made these comments or asked these questions. They sound interesting. Then you can go and you can connect with them too. I mean, it's LinkedIn makes connecting with each other so much easier. And I see like Sigrid, hello, Sigrid. She says, yes, start with the end in mind. What outcome do you wish to achieve? Absolutely. If you don't have career clarity or business clarity, don't do anything until you know where you want to go. It's a little bit like navigating career crossroads, isn't it? It's like, we need a map, but we need to have a destination as well. There's no point just looking at a map and not knowing where I'm going to go, because goodness knows where we would end up. Now, I want to ask you another question here, because when we are live streaming, some people don't do it because they think it's really complicated. And so what about the equipment that we need in order to live stream? So put everyone's minds at rest and tell us how it can be done, Gillian.
So my motto is video easy peasy. That's the name of my website, but easy peasy is everything that I'm about. My YouTube channel, it's my theme in life. And right now I'm traveling. I'm not at home. And what do I have for a live stream? I have a webcam. I have a microphone. I have a ring light. Make sure nobody's, behind me, so I don't have too much busy stuff going on in the background. That's about it. You don't need to have fancy 3-point lighting. You don't have to have a fancy equipment with a camera and a stream deck and cords and 7 monitors. I have a laptop. That's all you need. One of the most important things, though, is your internet. That will make or break a live stream. So you want to make sure that you have good internet. If you can get wired to your internet, that's much better. But that's sort of the biggest thing. And I really don't recommend doing it on your phone. I know that you can live stream from your phone. I wouldn't recommend it because just the signal can drop. But literally start with the equipment you already have. Most of us do Zoom. Most of us have the Logitech webcam. That's all you need. If you have like a really modern laptop, you might even find your embedded webcam is good enough. So you don't need a lot. Now, what you do need on LinkedIn is a third-party software. It's not like Facebook. Facebook, you can literally just use the app and go live. You can't do that on LinkedIn. You do need a third-party tool. I highly recommend Streamyard. That's what Jane uses. That's what I use. And the reason why I recommend Streamyard is you can start with free. There's nothing better than free. You're going to get the little duck in the corner, the little Streamyard duck in the corner. That's the price you pay for free. But you can go live and it's browser based, which means that Streamyard is doing all the heavy lifting. So literally you hit the go live button. Streamyard takes care of all the fancy, techie stuff. You don't even have to worry about it. And then afterwards, there it is. It's sitting on LinkedIn, it's sitting on YouTube. You can't multi-stream on the free plan. You can only go to one place at a time, but that's what I recommend. So you do not need a lot to use to go live. And then I love it.
Yeah, in the earlier days of video and live streaming, it was kind of scary because people thought, oh, I need this amazing microphone. Mind you, I do have a very nice microphone. Let me just lift it up for people who can see. This is the same one. My Blue Yeti microphone. It's lovely. I used to have it on a boom arm and bring it down and it made me feel so important when I had that.
Like a podcaster.
I decided to bring it a little bit closer. But talking about the equipment, I'm live streaming from Streamyard, which is, I find, so easy to use. And the beauty is that you can add, the comments from people as they come in, like this one from Sigrid, who agrees connection is so important. Yeah, you definitely need, a very, very fast internet speed and lighting so that, people can see your face. A lot of people, would you say, they forget about the angle of their camera as well? And if they're using a laptop, it's usually down there, and so you get all the wobbly jowls. I've got an iMac, and I'm not using any fancy camera. All I'm using is my iMac built-in camera right now, and it's okay, isn't it?
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. And I have a laptop, so I have a MacBook Pro, and I carry books with me. So whenever I travel, I'm a big reader. So I always have books, and it's like I've got 4 books under my Mac to pick it up a little bit. And that way you want to get that camera at eye level. So that's important because it's just not flattering if it's down there and it's looking up at you. It looks a little weird. So yes, that's important. And like you mentioned, you do want to have a good quality microphone, especially if you decide down the road that you want to repurpose as a podcast. And many of us do this with live streaming. So you're kind of we're getting off into repurposing in a minute, but that's an important thing. So you want to have good quality microphone. And I have right here little earbuds. I just have like little earbuds. You can't even see them. And I like to have that because I don't want to have an echo. So that's one thing. If you can just wear some earbuds, they go right into my Yeti. That way I never get any feedback. So that's something. And again, these were like $5. They were so cheap. The Yeti is a really great beginner mic. You don't have to do anything. You just plug it in and it goes.
I know, and it looks so good because it's so big. You know, when I got it, my children were laughing at me. My two daughters, they were saying, "Mum, why didn't you get a gold one? It would be so you if you got a gold Blue Yeti." Okay, yes, okay. But I've had this now for 8 years. I've been podcasting for 8 years. This is why I got it, and it works really well. And oh, I just want to mention, Helen is here and she's saying so many great tips. Thanks for sharing, or thanks for joining us, Helen. That's really, really lovely. If you have any questions at all for Gillian or for myself, please do pop them in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay after we've gone live, we'll still pop in every couple of days and respond to your questions too. So don't worry if you've missed it live, or if someone is missing it live, they can still watch the replay. You know, so with this, before we get into repurposing, Gillian, I'm really interested to help people to actually start live streaming. And if you were going to live stream, do you think it would be more nerve-wracking to do it on your own, or to do it with 1, 2, or 3 additional guests?
I say phone a friend. So many of us have started live streaming that way. I did it with my friend. The very first time I went live, I called up my friend and I said, "I don't want to go alone. Come with me." And she was like, "Okay." And I was in Israel. She was in New York. She was in the middle of a hurricane. And she says, "Well, I'll see if I make it." And she made it, and it was wonderful. So that is a really good way. And have a clear idea of what you're going to talk about, because if you don't show up with, this is going to be the theme, think about, this is the theme. How long are we going to talk? You might say, we're going to talk for 30 minutes. We're going to talk an hour. Have that figured out in advance. It's nice with Streamyard because you can actually flash your run of show, which is basically fancy talk for what's our points we want to cover. And you wouldn't even have to commit anything to memory. You just flip it on the screen so that people could see it. So that's a really good thing. Panels are difficult because sometimes people all talk at once. So you have to act as a facilitator, and it's like, okay, Debbie, you go. Okay, Jeff, you go. Okay, Kevin. You have to kind of keep it organized. So panels can be difficult. Going by yourself, what I find is, don't show up and say, "I think I'll do an Ask Me Anything." Because if you don't have anybody show up in the comments asking you stuff, you're going to be really stressed. So if you're going to go by yourself, it's usually a good idea of, I think I'm going to go and I'm going to talk about this, or I'm going to show something. So for instance, if I wanted to come on and talk about, let me tell you about LinkedIn's interview prep, which is a really good way to do video, by the way, is, you can come in, use that. Every job seeker should be using that tool, because it allows you to do video and do it on LinkedIn in a private space and just get comfortable with your typical interview questions. So I highly recommend that for every job seeker. It's in the jobs tab. And that would be a great live. I could go on and I could say, "Hey, I'm Gillian. I'm going to show you how to use this," and then just screen share and have myself be small and then walk you through it and talk about it, take questions. So that's a really good idea of doing lives by yourself. Have a particular thing you want to show. And then here's my extra tip. If you want to go live, do it privately first, meaning go live to YouTube. And you can go live to YouTube, and you can do an unlisted YouTube, or you can do a private YouTube with StreamYard. That allows you to get all the bugs out. And then you can go and see, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? I've seen people go live and not add themselves to the stream. And all we see is the graphic, and that person doesn't realize they never were even in the show. So you don't want to do that on LinkedIn, because that's going to affect your credibility. So go live in private to YouTube, see how you do. And then when you get the bugs out, then go live on LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Valuable tips. Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I've just done. You see on the screen, I've just done a brief synopsis of what it is that we're talking about today. I popped it in the chat because that'll help people if they're looking at the comments later, and then we can pop it up on the screen as well as a reminder. And those tips were so valuable, and I really do think that having 2 people or 3 people, and I've live streamed with 5 all in one go, and it was so good asking one person's opinion and insights, and then the next one and the next one, and it makes a live stream even more valuable for those who are attending as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the nice thing, in my opinion, about StreamYard is you can go and design your layout. So if you say, I have 5 people, you can figure out, okay, I want myself to be small, but I want my guests to be larger. You can totally customize the look. So it's so much more versatile than, say, a Zoom. So yeah, look how we can go back and forth. We can just do so many different things, and even it's kind of hard to do real time, but you can even customize these as much as you want in StreamYard now. So it's just amazing what you can do. I love it.
I have to say StreamYard is my favorite. I experimented with other third-party platforms and I got too confused because I can use technology, but I can't use it if it goes wrong. And StreamYard means that it's not. Actually, we're not sponsored by StreamYard, although I think StreamYard should sponsor us, but I just happen to really like it. Have you noticed my new banner now? youtube.com/video easy peasy. That's where you're going to find Gillian's YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you follow that. Okay, follow Gillian on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn. And now, repurposing, Gillian, I really want to know what's the best way to repurpose. You'll notice I've just popped up my YouTube channel as well. So follow my YouTube channel, follow Gillian's YouTube channel, please. But when it comes to repurposing, as a job seeker or as a business person who wants to get into live streaming and sharing video, give us all the options that people can use in order to repurpose and get maximum mileage out of their live streams.
The sky's the limit with regards to live streaming. So literally you can take a 30-minute live, a 60-minute live, and you can chop it up into sound bites, little video snippets. And again, this is a wonderful tool about StreamYard. You can use StreamYard. It has its own built-in editor. So after a live, I can take that live and now I can say, I want this clip where Jane said this, and then she ended here. And then that's a nice little 1-minute video. And I can just download that. If I wanted to, I can bring it into another video editor and I can do all sorts of different things with it. But you can take your live streams and cut them up into short little sound bites. And then you can go and put them on other platforms. You can put them on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. You can upload them to LinkedIn. I like to put my short snippets out onto YouTube, and I like doing YouTube shorts. So that's another great thing that you can do. So short videos all over the place, put them up in Vimeo as well. I like to put my videos on Vimeo, short little videos on Vimeo, and then I embed them inside a LinkedIn article. And then that way they play within the article and people don't leave. They can see they can read an article, they see a little video, they can click it, watch a 1-minute video. And then after that, they'll keep reading the article. So that's very effective. You can use it on your website. So you can do so many different things with video snippets. So that's just one. Then you can repurpose the audio. And again, StreamYard, you're right, Jane, they need to pay us for today. So another thing with StreamYard is you get an MP4 recording, which is the video. You get an MP3 recording, which is the audio, and you can download that. And guess what? Now you can have a podcast. So I have a podcast. I like to use Anchor, which is now owned by Spotify. It doesn't cost anything. And I have a podcast that goes out to 5 platforms. So again, this is a wonderful way to have organic reach. So if you're a job seeker, think about what would be your sort of industry expertise. Maybe you want to make a podcast. And so this is a wonderful thing. You can even come on StreamYard and just record your audio. without even going live, just record it and make a podcast. So that's just another thing as well. And then this is probably my favorite. Download the MP3 and upload it and have it transcribed. I like to use something called Otter AI, and that's my favorite platform for getting a transcription. But there's so many different things. There's Temi, there's rev.com, there's HappyScribe. There's so many different places, Descript. All these places will take your audio and make a transcript for you. And now you've got you've got blog posts, you've got sound bites. I just did a book, this one here. I did another book, this one here. And you know how I did it? I did it by having all of my transcripts of being guests on other people's shows. And then I had them all transcribed. And I went, I think there's a book in this. And I took my own content from here and here and here, put it together and made a book. So if you've got a dream of being an author and publishing a book, again, that's the ultimate with what you can do with repurposing your lives.
You are gold, Gillian. That's so many amazing suggestions, because too often people think, oh, I'm going to release a video and then that's it. And then they're all depressed because nothing happened. But, just because you've done something doesn't mean people will notice it. You need to, get over yourself. Don't be too shy. You have to think about, how am I going to attract the job that I want or the business that I want if I don't self-promote? Yes. And you need to self-promote without being salesy, and providing advice and support, much as what we're doing today, is a great way for people to realize, here's the LinkedIn live stream specialist. Here's the career transition specialist. And because we're basically warm and fuzzy, very nice people. So we like helping others, don't we? I mean, that's my career anchor, is dedication to a cause or service. And so if I'm in service of others, it really makes a huge difference. And I love being able to help people, and you love being able to help people through what you do too. And so all of those tips, using a transcript, service such as Otter, rev.com, and all of the others. I'm going to have to watch this again so that I can remember all the ones that you've noticed, which you've mentioned, which is so important. And that way you can get maximum mileage out of something very good that you've done. Yeah. And
absolutely.
And so right now, when it comes to live streaming, what would you say are the common mistakes that people should avoid? And then let's see if we have any questions from the audience as well.
I would say being inconsistent. Carve out what is your date and time. I remember when I first started live streaming 3 years ago, I thought about, I want to be consistent. I don't want to just do 5 lives in a row and show up 3 months later and then people forget who I am. So I decided I wanted to have a show. I decided my frequency would be once a week. Now, for somebody else, it could be once a month. It could be once a quarter. It could be once every fortnight. So, decide what works for you, and then figure out your date and figure out your time, and then own that space on the internet. So I started my live stream show when I lived in Israel. I decided that I had more of an audience in the United States because I just recently come abroad. And so I decided to go at a time that would be better for my audience than me. So I did my live at 8:00 at night, which for somebody else, they'd be like, what? But that worked for me. Well, guess what? 6 months later, when I moved back to the United States, that 8 p.m. live turned into 10 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time. So again, always begin with the end in mind. Think about your audience and what works best for them. So that's one of the things that I see people don't think through, and they're inconsistent. And 1 week they're going on a Tuesday, and the next week they're on a Sunday, and they're all over the place. So keep your time. And I think that makes the thing, and figure out the theme of what your show is. So for instance, with me, I like to, my theme is LinkedIn easy peasy. So I always tell my guests, we want to do something and relate it back to LinkedIn. How can we relate this back to LinkedIn? So that's the theme of my show. But somebody else's show could be something about, I don't know, fashion or whatever. Everybody has their own thing. So think of your theme, think of your audience, and then really get that date and time and be consistent.
I want to make sure that people know where to find you. Now, if you type in Gillian Whitney on LinkedIn, you will find Gillian and you'll be able to connect with her. Obviously, you'll find me, Jane Jackson Career Coach, if you want to connect with me. But Gillian shares regularly so much value when it comes to video, so many video tips. So if you're feeling a little bit nervous about starting video, I highly recommend that you follow Gillian and implement all of her tips. And as I've mentioned before, you can find Gillian's YouTube channel here, Video Easy Peasy. Okay, because I think, if you don't use video in your strategy as a job seeker or as a business owner, you're missing out on something that could be so beneficial. And in fact, what I'd like to say is, there's something that's disappeared recently from LinkedIn. And I was so disappointed because it was video, and you know what I'm going to say, don't you, Gillian? It's the video profile, or the profile video feature, where you got 30 seconds to introduce yourself. And I would coach my career transition clients on create that video, because if you can succinctly explain who you are and the value that you bring in 30 seconds on LinkedIn, when people look at your profile, they click on it and it makes it an all-round experience, doesn't it? I don't understand why it was removed, because it was such a great feature.
I literally cried in my boots when they took that away. I was so sad. But moving forward, this is what I suggest for people. Number one, you can always upload a video as a video post to LinkedIn, and then you can save it to your featured section and make it that number one featured bit. So that's one idea. The other idea is to create a video and then upload it to Vimeo. Vimeo is my preferred business platform. And the reason why I like that over YouTube for something like this is you don't want to have cat videos show up at the end. That can happen with YouTube. So if you want to be your most professional self, you can have a free Vimeo account. It doesn't cost anything. And get yourself, this is who I am, and maybe keep it, like a minute and a half, do a video about that long, upload it to Vimeo, and then you can put it as a media link inside your first experience. And again, people could click on it, they'll go to Vimeo, they'll watch it. You could even upload that to LinkedIn and put that in your feature section. So that would be my recommendation if you want to really stand out on your profile with video, those two things.
So you prefer Vimeo to YouTube when it comes to actually embedding videos?
Yes. When I'm doing an article, sometimes I will do a video that's already on YouTube if it's already there. But if I'm making it and I want it to look really professional, and then at the end, it's like it just ends and it looks nice, I prefer Vimeo embeds. That's just me.
Now, I have to admit, the annoying thing is watching a YouTube video, and at the end, you can choose which video you want to direct people to on the end screen. But if you don't choose, then it goes and directs you off to somewhere else, and it could be quite random, and you could be learning how to bake a cake next.
Yes, and it could show your competitors. Sometimes it can show something that's totally inappropriate for your brand. You're like, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want that thing to show up at the end. So it's very dicey what that can do. So that's why Vimeo, and same with your website. And if you make any kind of like speaker reel, to show your experience, again, you want a professional platform like Vimeo. It's just top notch. And then the other thing too, Jane, is I really would encourage all of your audience to embrace using a tool called Loom. Loom. That is a job hunter's best friend, because you can use that for having sort of like portfolio bits about yourself that you could email people, and you just email the link. You're not emailing an attachment, which is very, very important. But the most important is it's a great way to send a thank you after an interview. And again, that type of video will really help you stand out from the crowd when you are job searching.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Loom, another very good platform, has made it so easy to share. You know, I have a virtual assistant who helps me, and whenever I need to explain something, rather than, typing everything out, I just do a Loom video and say, hey, can you do this? And just follow that. And it's fantastic for training too. Gillian, we have a very interesting question from Helen here. She says, I have a very noob question. Okay, newbie question. Is there any way to generate any income through live stream on LinkedIn? It's not my initial goal, she says, but I would love to know what you think.
I personally don't do that, but I know that other people do, and you could have sponsors. So you can do with a LinkedIn Live, like what we're doing today. You can have an intro video like Jane had, but you could have sponsorships in that video. You could do it at the end of your live as well. So you can have intro and outro videos that are sort of commercials. So that's one way that you can do it. You can also, what's really big right now is Amazon. So you can do Amazon live streaming. And so not necessarily on LinkedIn, but then your affiliate, you've got your products that you're doing on Amazon. That's another way. But a lot of people, what they'll do is they can, basically they put their own services at the end. So that's one way that people are monetizing live streams.
Hang on, I'm just creating this as a banner. Hang on, because that's something new. Thinking about Amazon live streaming would be good. Also, it's not really directly creating an income stream from it, but what you can do is use it to promote somewhere where you want to direct people to. For example, here I have a career success program. It's at thecareersacademy.online. And so if you want career support, then go to www.thecareersacademy.online. And that's one way to direct traffic to a website where you have a lot of value for people as well. Okay. That's all that I do, because I don't really do sales when it comes to LinkedIn live streams. It really is to create awareness. It is to provide support, advice, guidance, and some inspiration, which is what we've done today. And actually, that leads us very nicely to how we should wind up, Gillian. So if you want to learn more about video live streaming, Gillian Whitney is your lady. And I would like you to follow her on LinkedIn, find her on YouTube, where it's Video Easy Peasy. And in fact, if you just Google Video Easy Peasy, you're going to find Gillian absolutely everywhere. Okay. And so that's the best thing, because now for those of you who haven't met Gillian before, you know what she provides, a mountain of value when it comes to video. And also, if you want to know more about me, follow me or go to thecareersacademy.online, where you get a wealth of just amazing career support. Plus, if you join me for 12 months, you will be able to get 24 group coaching calls, which will help you to get clear on your career and progress in your career if you've been aiming for that promotion and you haven't been able to get it just yet. Okay, so final thoughts, Gillian.
Just recognize that live streaming can open up so many doors for you, and think of it as you have the ability to have your very own TV show. So just do it. Know that I'm an introvert. I'm over 50. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And just know somebody out there needs to hear your message.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gillian. You've been wonderful. And for those who have been watching us and listening to us, we're both baby boomers, and we are here to prove that you are never too old to live the life that you deserve and create the career of your dreams. Thank you so much, Gillian Whitney, for joining me today. And we will collaborate again. And so People who have provided comments in Facebook and on YouTube, I won't have seen it here. I've only seen the LinkedIn ones. Okay. Oops, here's another comment that's just come up. Helen says, thank you so much. You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. And for anyone who's watching the replay, feel free to pop your questions and comments into the chat as well, because we will be responding later. Take care now, and thank you so much, everyone. Bye now. Thanks for joining me today. For affordable career help, please check out my Career Success Program. I provide a unique blend of online and live career coaching to help you take control of every aspect of your career or career change. If you aren't where you want to be in your career, let's talk. Check it out at thecareersacademy.online. The links are in my show notes.